With that, again, welcome to the 14th annual CFAR retreat. It really seems like almost yesterday that I was standing up here for the very first one, but I guess time flies when you're having fun. We go through this chronology each year, but I direct you to, so we started in 2005, as most of you know, maybe some of the new members don't. At the bottom of the slide, as of July 1st, we were beginning year 14. And this is a very pivotal year because we'll be doing a competitive renewal, and that's due in mid-August of 2019, but we've already begun writing it, and I'll talk a little bit about that later. Real key event was when we look at the funded research base. Remember, we are funded through, co-funding through the various institutes and centers at the NIH, and if you exceed this magic number of $40 million a year in AIDS-related NIH funding, and it excludes contracts and all kinds of things. But if you exceed $40 million, you move up from a Tier 1 to a Tier 2 CFAR, which means more funding. We are now a Tier 1, which means we get about $1.5 million of total funding per year, and that's directs and indirects. If we do, in the year we submit and 1 year thereafter, stay above $40 million, we will be a Tier 2, which will drive us up to $2.25 million, will give us more money to invest in other things that you tell us that we need to be doing as part of the CFAR. So we're very excited about the possibility, and again, we've been doing very well as far as new grants, PO1s, et cetera. These are the co-sponsoring institutes and centers. The ones with an asterisk are those in which we have part of our funded research base. So there's some that we don't have, but even though we are fairly well spread out, and this has spread since we began in 2005 when we were maybe 1 or 2 centers, but we're still highly NIAID-centric, and this is to be expected because NIAID is one of the principal funders for AIDS-related research. So still don't have, at least for our latest funded research base, NIA, NCI, NIMH, and NIMHD. So we're looking to encourage funding through those. This is kind of a redone organizational chart, and I think we probably need to increase the font size. It's like the last one, but there were some changes. At the very bottom here in the developmental core, Herman Statz, who follows me, will have an announcement. We have a new co-director has been named for that core. The other change was Shen has left as co-director of the Biostat core, and he joined the FDA. And we now have Rishi. You'll come to know and love Rishi, who is helping Cliburn to direct the Biostat core. We're very honored today to have as our keynote speaker, Ebony Boulware. We have been always seeking closer ties with CTSI, and I think this is the beginning of it. There are other things that are happening in the background that will really bring CTSI into a very strong strategic partnership with the CFAR, and we all look forward to hearing her talk after lunch today. Some of the things we've done in the past year, Tony Moody and Amelia Thompson, many of you, I think, have attended this. We had a World AIDS Day from Trials to Triumph. I think it was very well received, very well attended. I think we're also planning another World AIDS Day for this year, and I think the topic to be determined. So look for announcements of that. We've also been very active in collaborations. This is just one of them between the Duke CFAR and the UNC CFAR. And again, this was mainly between the social behavioral sciences cores of the 2 CFARs. And again, this is just an example of some of the CFAR collaboration that is ongoing. And as many of you know, we heard from Cam Wolf, I think it was last year, talking about the HOPE Act. And on Christmas Eve was the first actually transplant from a deceased HIV-infected donor, liver from that deceased donor transplanted into a HIV recipient, and this was the first real kickoff of the HOPE Act, which is where HIV-infected individuals can elect to get donor organs from HIV-infected individuals, and what it does, it moves them up in the line, so they're not in the back of the queue and waiting for years for a kidney transplant, but this was a liver transplant. So this is the beginning of what we hope is going to be a very active program at Duke. Here's Rishi. Again, we welcome him. He is currently also Associate Director of DCRI. but he will be helping Cliburn with the biostat core. Some of the plans for year 14, again, Herman is going to talk to you about issuing fall and spring small grant RFAs. We're going to continue our key recruitment efforts, continue with our chalk talks and special seminars. We will be planning a spring event probably for Q2 in 2019. And as I said, we're going to be continuing our composition of the 2019 competitive renewal application. And part of the guidance for that is we meet with our external advisory committee in February, and then meet with NIH program staff up in Bethesda sometime in March and April. This is our timeline. As I said, we've started to write it. We hope to get a mature draft to our external advisory committee sometime in early December, such that when we meet with them, we can talk about our draft and refine it. And then between February and June, when this is our arbitrary date where we really want to be working on final drafts, we can make adjustments. In the meantime, we still have to do progress reports, et cetera. So we're going to be busy administratively, but this is really a time when we need feedback from you from a number of different standpoints, and I'll allude to that briefly. Remember, this is our summary statement from last time, and we received an impact score of 13. For those of you not familiar with it, 10 is perfect, and so we are looking to better the 13 in the next submission, so no pressure. And I think, I don't know this for sure, but speaking with other CFAR directors, I don't know that anyone else has scored a 13, so in the history of the CFARs. So again, I think they liked what we had to say, and we want to make sure that we've continued that and have improved over the year. As we're putting together the competitive renewal, you start listing names, et cetera, and I think it's always nice to kind of look at pictures. These are our small grant recipients starting from 2005 through 2017, and you can see a tremendous amount of diversity in here, and I think that speaks volumes for the way we have engaged the community, and these have all been very successful sponsorships of small grants. Likewise, recruits from 2010 to present. This is just an example of this. There were 18 recruits, 11 of whom were women scientists, 4 were underrepresented minorities, and again, the investments were about $900,000, over $900,000 from CFAR, and a little bit less than that, $888,000 from the School of Medicine. So again, our strong partnership with the School of Medicine is extraordinarily important and helps us in both small grants and recruiting. We've redone our strategic partnership slide. In fact, we need to do some other modifications and add some more. We had too many strategic partners, and we couldn't do our other one before, and that's a good thing. So we are looking, as you will see, to strengthen our ties with CTSI, and we will be inviting other strategic partners to speak with us. And our afternoon session, remember, we dedicate to strategic partners, and so we have 2 excellent speakers for you this afternoon that after Ebony's talk to really tell you more about what they are up to. But we do need your help, and in early night, I think it was 2017, we conducted a CFAR-wide survey asking for feedback from you regarding the infrastructure, the cores, recruitment, small grants programs, seminars, chalk talks, working groups, and retreat that we provide to the intramural community. And the responses you provided were extraordinarily helpful to the CFAR leadership regarding their ongoing strategic partnership or strategic planning process. So we thank you for that. But we need, and we told you we wouldn't overwhelm you with too many surveys, but we do need one more thing from you as we construct the competitive renewal. And we need to conduct a needs assessment. So what this means that instead of asking how are we doing, which was kind of the overall gestalt of the survey, we really need to know what infrastructure support service aren't we providing and need to consider in the future. And so what do you feel the CFAR should provide to better support AIDS research in the next 5 years to become more effective in meeting the mission of the CFAR? So please consider these issues. I mentioned them now. We will be sending out a request for responses in this needs assessment survey, probably sometime late this year or early in January. But we want to utilize this in our planning for the competitive renewal. So again, look for this, be thinking about, okay, what could we be doing better? What aren't we doing that maybe we should be doing so that we can submit a very strong competitive renewal application. So thank you in advance for valuable input in this very important activity. We have CFAR awards to present today. I just wanted to remind you the awards, unfortunately, we can't give you large sums of money because of the IRS and NIH and Duke, et cetera. So it's, the awards consist of a certificate and a $25 gift card. For basic sciences, out of the 46 or 47 abstracts that were submitted, great majority, 30-some were in basic science, and so we decided to give 2 awards for basic science posters, one for best social behavioral science and one for best clinical science. So again, be looking at these posters very carefully. We've given you a lot of time this year. In fact, you'll notice that the poster session morphs into lunch, and you're going to be up on the 6th floor anyhow, so please take your time and really look at these posters, provide feedback to the poster presenters, and again, just make this a good networking and scientific discussion exercise. We also have 2 awards, the CFAR Directors Award and the Junior Faculty Award. CFAR Directors Award winners in the past are listed here. You can see a lot of your friends and colleagues listed. And so this was established, I established this very early on, and so this is people who contributed the most added value to the Duke CFAR over the past year. And it's a $150 gift certificate. It used to be the Nana's. Well, Nana's doesn't exist anymore, so we went with Nana's Steak, which is actually as good. And so they come out of my wife and my checking account, so we're not really accountable beyond that. So we don't have to account to NIH or the School of Medicine. But we really do this in recognition of someone who had outstanding service and provided a tremendous added value to the CFAR. So this year's winner is Sally Permar. I know Sally's not here. I think she's out of town. She may be at NIH. I'm not sure. But again, in recognition for her loyal service to the CFAR Development Corps, she was co-director with Herman. And because of her new responsibilities, she felt she didn't have enough time to devote to that. So Herman will be making an announcement relative to that. But she greatly enriched our HIV/AIDS funded research base through a couple of PO1s and RO1s. And for numerous ongoing research projects focused on mother-to-child transmission and issues of pediatric HIV infection. So we wish her well in her new leadership roles, and I've got a gift certificate for her. Again, as always, we thank 2 people who have really worked diligently to put this together, Kelly Plunk and Mary Orris. And again, we stress that visibility is everything with CFAR. So there are people at the NIH that make sure that when you publish something HIV related, are you citing the CFAR, if you're giving talks, et cetera. So please, and on the website are some verbiage you can use in citing CFAR. So the T32 Junior Faculty Award, this year we're fortunate to have Colin Duckett, the new Vice Dean for Basic Science, who's going to be the presenter. Colin, if you want to come up. As he's coming up, the value added of having Colin do this is that he has an AIDS persona, an HIV/AIDS past persona. And I went on PubMed and found a Nature article, an EMBO article, another PNAS article. And so he does have at least a history of HIV/AIDS research. And this will add to, again, as we all know from last year, we have a dean who is very intimately involved in HIV research. So, Colin, I turn this over to you.
Thanks.